However, this trip left him greatly disappointed. 10 days later, he returned to Beijing with Xie Zongfen. Time passed, and on August 27, 1996, Baoshan and Xie Zongfen arrived at Muxiyuan together. Xie Zongfen planned to make progress in the wholesale market here, while Baoshan needed to take a long-distance bus to collect water. Prior to this, Baoshan did not inform Xie Zongfen that he had something to attend to. He only hinted at it when they were in Muxiyuan, and Xie Zongfen decided to follow him, thinking that there might be a woman involved who could be of help. During the water collection process, Xie Zongfen saw a gun and suddenly felt scared. He persuaded Baoshan to get rid of the gun, but Baoshan disagreed. Unable to find bullets, the two returned to Beijing that same night. During the night, Baoshan, like telling a story, revealed to Xie Zongfen the series of crimes he had committed in Beijing and the incident of shooting and killing the soldier Su Shui. Xie Zongfen listened in fear and remained silent. 3 days later, Baoshan returned to Su Shui alone. Because he was worried about the bullets that were not found, this time he did not inform Xie Zongfen and chose to act alone. Arriving at the old kiln, in less than half an hour, he found the location where the bullets were buried. Baoshan then reburied them next to the railway, approximately 10 meters from where the gun was buried. In the afternoon, he took a long-distance bus back to Beijing. After a week, he told Xie Zongfen that he had found the bullets, and asked him to come with him to retrieve the gun and bullets. In the afternoon, the two set off, still carrying the nylon bag they had bought last time, and arrived in Su Shui. After quickly digging out the gun and bullets, Baoshan loaded the Type 81 automatic rifle into the nylon bag, wrapped the used Type 56 rifle again, and buried them back in their original places. After completing the process, he had Xie Zongfen kneel in the cornfield, pretending to pray for over 30 minutes, providing cover for the hidden items in the nylon bag. The two then headed to Su Shui train station. In the early hours of the night at 2:30 a.m., they boarded a slow train bound for Beijing. At 5 a.m., they got off at Fengtai train station and took bus 354 to return home. By 6 a.m., they reached Baoshan's mother's house. Bai's mother had gone out for morning exercises, and the stepfather had not returned. Baoshan took out the automatic rifle and carried it alone to the slope outside the triangular wall of the radar factory, hiding it in the pre-dug hole where he used to hide the Type 56 rifle. After returning to Beijing, Baoshan's main concern was whether to eliminate Xie Zongfen. After careful consideration, a few days later, he made up his mind. He dug a hole on a hill behind his residence for Xie Zongfen and prepared everything for the burial, using a shovel, mirroring the preparations he made in Xi'an in prison for Li Baoyu and Fuck Jun. The remaining questions were when to act and how to do it. However, as the implementation date approached, he hesitated. He continued to observe Xie Zongfen, intentionally getting angry with him for no reason, punching and kicking him. But instead of being scared away, Xie Zongfen became even closer to him, being careful not to offend him and trying to please him. In front of this woman, Baoshan softened, repeatedly postponing the execution date, and eventually gave up the idea. After successfully completing the first step of Baoshan's plan, hiding the gun, the next step was to rob money. He scouted the Hebei Xinji leather goods wholesale market and the San 3 wholesale market in Shijiazhuang, giving Baoshan hope. By December, while shopping at Dishengmen, Baoshan accidentally discovered a tobacco wholesale market. For several days, he came here every day on his bicycle, observing the business and personnel situation in Yanshi, choosing his target for the attack. On December 15, the weather turned windy and the temperature dropped sharply. Early in the morning, Baoshan began his action. At 6 o'clock, just as the day was breaking, he first went to the mountain to retrieve the gun, loaded it into a specially made wooden box, put the box in a snakeskin bag, filled it with bullets, following his usual practice. Then, braving the cold, he rode his bike to Dishengmen, a journey that took an hour and a half. He hid the gun in a dead-end alley not far from Yanshi outside Dishengmen, where there was a construction waste dump. He buried the automatic rifle by the wall and then returned. The next day, as usual, he woke up at 6 a.m., rode his bicycle to Dishengmen. He left the bicycle in a convenient place, walked into the smoke-filled room. By now, it was already 7:30 a.m. He did not wear a mask, dressed in a dark green down jacket, wearing a light gray fur hat. However, the bustling wholesale market that day did not open for business today. The owner was absent, and the assistants were nowhere to be found. The usual delivery truck was also missing. Baoshan had already planned to act as soon as the truck arrived. The timing had been carefully calculated. However, the truck did not appear, and they were in the process of settling accounts. The gun had to be used, and it had to result in fatal consequences, otherwise, it wouldn't have enough deterrent effect. Initially, Baoshan had other expectations, but as the morning passed, he had to reconsider. Approaching noon, Baoshan saw a young woman collecting money next to the tobacco stand. He walked closer, observing with his peripheral vision, and noticed the woman in a transaction with a man. She carried a bag with the zipper open, revealing a thick stack of Chinese yuan, appearing to be tens of thousands. At the same time, the man handed her another 10,000 yuan. Baoshan realized he couldn't delay any longer. The income of tens of thousands was not to be underestimated, so he decided to rob. Next, he quickly traversed through alleys, rode his bicycle to the garbage dump, and then returned along the same route. The entire process took only 10 minutes. Baoshan pulled down the gray woolen cap, forming a sleeve, only exposing his eyes. He then confidently approached the target, pointing the dark gun barrel at the woman's chest. The young woman nervously grabbed her bag, shouting that someone was robbing money. As she yelled, Baoshan's gun went off. The young woman felt a hot sensation in her chest, fell to the ground, and the money from the bag scattered on the floor. Baoshan lifted the gun, took 2 steps, not fleeing but noticing several men shouting about a murder to the east. Baoshan quickly turned, brought the gun to his mouth, and fired 2 more shots without hesitation. As a result, 2 more men fell to the ground to the east. After the gunshots, the crowd immediately dispersed. Baoshan achieved his goal, quickly retreated into an alley, threw the hat away, and put the gun into a bag, hanging it on his bicycle. He returned to the garbage dump. He took out the money from the bag, packed it in 2 plastic bags, buried it in one corner of the dump, buried the gun in another corner, and threw the wooden box containing the gun onto the roof of a dilapidated house. The bag with the money was buried in a 3rd location. Afterward, he casually rode his bicycle to Tianhui Market, bought some socks for Xie Zongfen, and brought them home. 2 days later, Baoshan and Xie Zongfen together retrieved the stolen money and the rifle. Back home, Xie Zongfen counted it carefully twice, totaling 65,170 yuan. Baoshan took out 5,000 yuan and handed it to Xie Zongfen. After that, Baoshan did not commit any more crimes in Beijing. This robbery became his only one in the city. Unable to determine if it was cunning or for other reasons, Baoshan continued to spend money lavishly, but only used a small portion of it. Every month, his mother offered him 100 yuan, which he consistently refused, maintaining a frugal lifestyle. New Year's Day passed, and in the blink of an eye, it was already the Spring Festival. Baoshan said he would take Xie Zongfen to Xinjiang after the Spring Festival and accompany his family, claiming to accompany Xie Zongfen back to Sichuan. Before embarking on the journey, he took out the stolen money. Besides the 5,000 yuan given to Xie Zongfen, he basically didn't touch the rest. He quietly handed over 50,000 yuan to his younger brother for safekeeping, carrying the remaining 10,000 yuan with him. Baoshan dug out the gun in advance, brought it home, and hid it under the bed. Before leaving, he hung the gun on himself, put on his coat, and then called Xie Zongfen to set out together. During the Spring Festival, when passengers passed through the entrance, the luggage they carried would undergo X-ray inspection, but their bodies were not inspected. Baoshan took advantage of this and successfully brought the gun into the waiting hall, hiding it in his down jacket. He let Xie Zongfen go up to the second floor via the escalator, while he carried a large bag and went up to the second floor from the side pedestrian stairs. When he reached the corner of the stairs, Baoshan noticed no one around, quickly took the automatic rifle from his body, put it in the bag, and then joined Xie Zongfen on the second floor.